3 or 4 different styles, from the really dry Serchal through Boal, Malmsey, and then you have some very rare styles called Tarantes. My preference is Boal and Malmsey. This is just so absolutely so incredible. I can actually taste it on my teeth. I've just had a little sip there and it's beautiful. I'm going to sip this all night long. One big advantage with proper Madeira, it never ever goes off. Now we did a test a number of years ago. We had a bottle of Madeira, we opened it, we allowed people to taste it once a year, we kept it open for 10 years. It was as good at the end of the 10th year as it was at the start. The only thing wrong was that there was nothing left in the bottle. So this is the perfect wine if you're a relaxed drinker, if you're not really sure about fortified wines, if you just want them open for your guests. Because vintage port, believe it or not, will go off in 4 or 5 days. Sherry will go off at best in a week, 2 weeks. This, you can open it this year and serve it next year. It's never going to last that long in my house. Anyway, that's vintage Malmsey Madeira. Quite stunning. While we're on Madeira, I'll show you one of my other selections from the shop. This is the Beauty Madeira. I'm interested not only in the taste of the wine, but also the history. And as I said, Madeira fell out of favour a few years ago, and so you still find these rare old pipes. They're basically port bottles of Madeira that haven't been bottled. And this particular house, D'Oliveras, they have a range of wines going back incredible ages into the 18th, 19th centuries. And it's pointless trying to stock those in my shop, but this one I do stock. It's the fabulous 1922 Boal Madeira. And yes, we sell them, there are people that buy them. Yes, it is genuinely 1922. Now you imagine serving this at a dinner table where you've got all the equipment on the table and you've got a replica Times or whatever it is newspaper telling you of all the stories of the day. You just cannot imagine. It transports you back in time, and the flavours again are just so nutty and rich and toffee. You have to try them, and if you try them once in a lifetime, try them this Christmas. Now, one of the other 2 classic styles of fortified wine is port. Port comes in 2 styles itself. You have vintage or vintage character, which is the dark black, inky chocolate and blackcurrant style that we're all used to in England. The famous Fonseca and Taylor wines that everyone has tried. And then you have a style of wine that comes out in colour very much like the Malmsey Madeira, and it's called Tawny Port. Tawny Ports are soft and sweet. The darker, more cassis style ports are a little bit drier and heavier, so you have to know very much what you like. Personally, I can't go wrong with either style. But this is the traditional style. This is again quite a rare one, Colburn's 1967. The vintage ports, as this is, and the vintage characters, are actually bottled very rapidly after production, so they see very little wood aging, and they mature extremely slowly in the bottle. So the older they are, the softer and the more easygoing they're going to be. The younger they are, slightly more tannic, slightly more full of flavour, and so on. Port, it should always be after a meal. It's far too heavy. The taste buds will be overcomplicated. It should always be after a meal. It can be with a pudding, it can be with cheese, it can be on its own, but please, whatever you do, never ever pollute your taste buds before a meal with it, because it will overpower all of the food. Port. Now, the other misunderstood fortified wine, and something that I love explaining at Christmas, is sherry. Jerez from Spain, northern Spain. Sherry comes again in a number of classic styles. I prefer to deal with 3 types. Fino is the lovely dry lemon and grapefruit style. You serve them very chilled, great in the spring and summer. Don't tend to sell so many at Christmas, but that is your classic aperitif. And if you go to Spain, Portugal, places like this, and they serve you a really chilled aperitif, the chances are it's Fino or sherry. Now the old British style, the classic favourite, sorry, wrong bottle there, is the cream. Cream is, it's a misconception that it actually has cream inside it. It's got no dairy products in whatsoever. Cream sherry is actually just basically a soft, rounded style. Not as sweet as PX, which is the ultimate expression in sherry, but not as dry as some of the other ones. So basically what you've got in there, again, is like an off-amber colour. Nice on its own. Some people mix them with things like lemonade, which is a horrible pollutant for sherry. But these wines are absolutely stunning with pudding. A nice, rich, deep thing, a creme brulee. Creme brulee and cream sherry are just the ultimate partnership, to be perfectly honest. And of course, every year cream sherry is the one you put in your sherry trifle. If you want to impress, and again like Madeira, if you want something that's going to last a lifetime and literally never go off, then this is the one to go for. Forget all this, this is the vineyard that makes it, it's that counts. They call it PX, Pedro Ximenez. Pedro Ximenez is a style of grape. It also effectively has become a style of winemaking. Now these grapes are, they're off the vine, they're laid to dry on slate beds. I'll give you an example here. The most commercial wine we've looked at today is this one. And on a typical vineyard vine, one vine would produce around 18 to 20 bottles of Irvine Merlot. On a more commercial wine, like some of the supermarket ones, you'll get up to 30 bottles. This wine, one glass, takes 10 vines, and that's the difference. They're laid out to dry on slate beds. Most of the water content is evaporated. The grapes are then put in a wooden press and they're gently crushed, and what comes out is almost a treacle substance. That treacle substance is then vinified and aged in barrels, bottled. The flavours are just so complicated and complex you cannot describe, but it is that black. It's inky black, one tiny little bit in the glass can line the glass. I don't recommend actually drinking these, although they do taste delicious. The best way that I've found to enjoy these, believe it or not, is poured over Hartley's ice cream. Really nice sweet vanilla ice cream, PX sherry over the top, don't drive the following day, a fantastic combination. That's the end of our little session. I hope you've taken some nice tips from it. I hope you've got the courage to spend that little bit more money. My name again is Gerard Richardson, and well, I don't know which one of these to pick up and put down, so we'll have them both. Merry Christmas, and thank you for watching the Fat Chat Show.